My name is Don K. Preston. I am the president of Preterist Research Institute of Ardmore, Oklahoma. And as promised, we're going to begin today, and believe me, I'm not going to make an exhaustive study of this, but we are looking at the comparison between the resurrection that Paul talked about in 1 Corinthians 15 and Romans chapter 8. And I've been focused on the reality that in Romans chapter 8, Paul puts the resurrection within the context of first century suffering and martyrdom and the promise of the soon coming resurrection to vindicate their suffering, to manifest them as the sons of God, because after all, in Romans chapter 8, the day of the redemption of the body would be the day of the manifestation of the sons of God. More on that momentarily. And I've been examining several New Testament books in which this theme of martyrdom and martyr vindication at the day of the Lord is so dominant. Well, look, there's not another book in the New Testament that is more saturated with this concept of suffering, martyrdom, and coming vindication at the day of the Lord, at the judgment, at the resurrection, in the new creation, than is the book of Revelation. And I'm only going to do this by a few videos on some of the outstanding chapters that deal with suffering and martyrdom, coming vindication, coming glory, coming kingdom, coming resurrection. All of these are absolutely inextricably bound up with each other. Let me share the first one with you. Now, first of all, notice that John in the book of Revelation says, I, John, am your brother in the kingdom and in the tribulation. Well, what tribulation? It's the tribulation that is found throughout the entire New Testament. That word tribulation is from the Greek word thalipsis that I've shared with you in earlier discussions. So John says, I'm your brother in this suffering. It's the tribulation of 2 Thessalonians chapter 1. It's the tribulation of 1 Peter. It's the tribulation of the book of Hebrews. It's the tribulation of James. I mean, on and on it goes. Absolutely remarkable text in Revelation chapter 3. And boy, I got to tell you, I could spend about 6 weeks right here on this one particular text. But I want you to notice, first of all, to go back to Romans chapter 8. In Romans chapter 8, Paul talks about how they had received the spirit of adoption, the spirit of sonship. They were suffering. Well, why were they suffering? Because they were calling themselves the sons of God. But the old covenant Israel, that had stood for 1,500 years as the sons of God, were contesting that claim. You see, not only is suffering and martyrdom an incredible motif throughout the New Testament, but very subtly, but very powerfully, the question and the controversy over who are the sons of God runs throughout the New Testament. It's in the Gospels. Who are my brothers? Who are my sisters? Who is my family, said Jesus in Matthew chapter 12. Those who follow me, Jesus said. These are my brothers. These are my sisters. So the question of sonship, the question of identity is extremely powerful. So Paul in Romans chapter 8, discussing resurrection, remember, discussing resurrection in the context of suffering, martyrdom, said they were eagerly awaiting the manifestation of the sons of God. Hang on to that. It's so powerful. Watch this. Revelation chapter 3, 9 and following. Jesus is speaking to the church at Philadelphia. And he says, I know your works. And then he says, verse 9, indeed, I will make those of the synagogue of Satan, who say they are Jews, but are not, because they are liars. I will make them come and worship before your feet to know that I have loved you. Wow. Wow. Do you catch the power of that? Jesus is saying that those who claim to be Jews, claim to be the true seed, claim to be the true followers of Yahweh, but they are persecuting the children of promise, i.e. what we call Christians. There is this ongoing internecine conflict between the old covenant seed, the new covenant seed, and Jesus said, I'm going to make those of the synagogue of Satan, those who say they are Jews, but they're not because they're liars, I will make them come and bow down before you and to know that I've loved you. I don't have time to show and to discuss that this is a direct citation from Isaiah 60 and 14, but the power of this is absolutely incredible. But now notice, because you have kept my command to persevere, I also will keep you from the hour of trial, which shall come, which is about to come, upon the whole world to test those who dwell on the earth. Behold, I am coming quickly. Hold fast what you have, that no one take away your crown. Do you catch all of the motifs at work here? You have persecution on the part of the Jews, just like you have in 2 Thessalonians, 1 and 2 Thessalonians, just like you do in the book of Hebrews, just like you do in the book of James, just like you do in the book of Peter. You have this controversy over who are the children of God. The synagogue of the Jews say, we are the sons of God. And Jesus said, no, they are now the synagogue of Satan. They are the synagogue of the adversary. They are the adversary. And what did he say he was going to do? I will make them come and bow down before you, and to know that I love you. Folks, right here is the manifestation of the sons of God. But wait a minute. What is the manifestation of the sons of God? Resurrection. And when did Jesus say it was going to happen? Behold, I come quickly. Oh, by the way, real quickly, notice that Jesus said to the church at Philadelphia, it's one of the churches of Asia, okay? They're being persecuted. And he said, I'm going to keep you from the hour of trial that is about to come on the whole world. Now watch this and catch the power of it. Peter, writing to the churches in Asia, said, do not think it strange concerning the fiery trial that is among you. You want to see the dating of the book of Revelation? Right there it is. Book of Revelation chapter 3, fiery trial is coming, churches of Asia. Peter, churches of Asia, fiery trial is among you. Revelation was written before 1 Peter. But what you have to see is the motif of suffering, martyrdom, vindication, glorification, manifestation of the sons of God, which is nothing less than the resurrection. And Jesus said, behold, I come quickly. Not in 2,000 years, but just like Hebrews 10:37 said, without delay. Hey, look, there's an absolutely wonderful new book out by my friend Sam Dawson. It is entitled Revelation Realized, Martyr Vindication from Genesis to Revelation. This book is one of the most expansive discussions of martyr vindication and the time of that martyr vindication that you're going to find anywhere. Sam has done an awesome job in this book. I mean, Genesis chapter 4, verse 10, the blood of righteous Abel cries to me from the ground. Crying for what? Martyr vindication. And Sam does an incredible job of linking text with text with text with text from the Old Testament all the way through the New, right through the book of Revelation, showing that Jesus and that the Father promised, predicted, and fulfilled the promise to vindicate all of the righteous blood of all of the righteous shed on the earth from righteous Abel unto Zacharias son of Barachias, who was slain between the temple and the altar, and he did it in that generation, the first century generation, in the fall of Jerusalem in AD 70. You need to go to my website, donkpreston.com or BibleProphecy.com, and order a copy of Revelation Realized, Martyr Vindication from Genesis to Revelation by Sam Dawson. Price is $21.95, postpaid. All right? You'll love this book. I'll see you on the flip side.